Let's see, what do I have to do here again tonight? Oh, yes, we need to call this meeting to order. If you join me in Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll just take a moment of silence, gather our thoughts and some prayers for those around the world that are in trouble. Yeah, would you do roll call, please, Christian?
Trustee Olson.
Here.
Trustee Fields. Here. Trustee Wagner.
Here.
Trustee Reister.
Here.
President Pro Tem Keller.
Here.
President Frisbee.
Here. We have an agenda tonight. I'd like to add to the agenda 11F, and it will just be a request for consent and franchise from Brady Charter Township. And when we get to that, I'll explain it a little bit more in detail, but that'll be 11F. Are there any other additions or requests by council? Hearing none, I entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Move as amended.
Second.
We got a motion by trustee Keller, support by trustee Fields. We'll do, all those in favor say aye, please. Aye. Those opposed? We have an agenda in front of us. I just want to make a comment right now that our village manager, Mr. Jim Mallory, is remoting in tonight. He couldn't be with us, so he is on the Zoom meeting tonight and will be available to answer any questions. I see no public officials in the audience. This is a time for citizens' comments for an agenda items, if anybody so wishes to speak to that. Seeing none, we'll move on. I'll just take a quick time for comments here. We've got three great candidates for the trustee appointment. So the HR committee, I would like to make a recommendation before our next meeting. So if we can all gather and get a timeline together that we can do the interview for those three people. We'd like to get that done. And second to that was the Citizens Academy. What a great opportunity for village residents, and you have to be a village resident, but it's a academy. It's a free series of classes designed to teach citizens on how the local government works. It'll be held from April 17th through May 22nd. It'll last about 2 hours, one night a week for 6 weeks, and we'll be going over a lot of aspects of how the village operates. You get an opportunity to work with the police department, public works. We'll do a tour inside the water tower, Angels Crossing, and more. So I encourage anyone that's interested to be part of what we do here for the village to look at it, sign up. You can sign up on the village webpage is one area, or just talk to the trustees or stop in at our new village hall and ask for a form. So that was it for me on that. So we have a general consent agenda, and everyone had an opportunity to review it. It's our regular meeting minutes from our February 4th meeting, our warrant reports. Hardy Hustle requests a street closing May 11th, and we had no correspondence. So was there any corrections or additions or comments to the consent agenda? Without, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
Trustee Wagner, so moved.
Trustee Reister, support.
Trustee Wagner, motion of support, and Trustee Reister seconded. We'll do a roll call, please, Christian.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Trustee Olson.
Yes.
Trustee Reister.
Yes.
Trustee Fields.
Yes.
President Pro Tem Keller.
Yes.
President Frisbee.
Yes. And I am honored here to be sitting to my left with our chief of police, and he's going to read through the list of council action items tonight on Jim's behalf. Assistant Village Manager.
Thank you, Mr. President, for that one. The first council action item under 11A is the first of about 4 or 5 on here. This one is seeking approval for for Village Manager Mallory to sign a contract with the State Industrial Product, or SIP for short, corporation, in the amount of $1,471.23. The SIP will install odor-reducing agents and systems between Highway Street and Spruce Street lift stations, where minor yet unpredictable odors have been noticeable for the past 9 to 12 months. And I believe there was a summary memo in y'all's packet.
Thank you. So this must have been an ongoing issue and complaints from citizens, and this is the fix that the DPW and the staff has come up with and recommending.
President Frisbee, I so move.
Trustee Wagner, support.
Yeah, any discussions or comments, inquiries? We do have village manager and our DPW director, Jimmy, with us, so this would be the time. No, hearing none, we'll do a roll call, please, Christian?
Trustee Fields.
Yes.
Trustee Reister.
Yes.
Trustee Olson.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
President Pro Tem Keller.
Yes.
President Frisbee.
Yes, motion carries. So it takes us to 11B.
Yeah, under 11B, the village manager is looking for approval to sign a contract with Taplin Environmental to provide CCTV work on our infrastructure sewer system. They'll film and document the conditions of 10% of our sewer system. This is the second year of a 10-year proposed plan and is set for the 2024-2025 fiscal year budget. Approval is needed to schedule the work to occur after July 1st, 2024.
Thank you. Well, we have a request in front of us. What is this council's desire? We have a motion to,
Trustee Wagner, I so move.
Trustee Fields, support.
so any discussion or comments on this?
Jim, I assume this is just the part of the ongoing process, correct?
Yeah, last year was the first year that we had entered into this contract, so the goal is to do 10% of the system per year, and this is year number 2.
And Jim, my assumption was that we were satisfied with the vendor and their completion for the first year that we entered this contract?
Yeah, absolutely. They do almost the exclusive work of all Kalamazoo County systems within Kalamazoo County. They kept the prices to last year. Prices didn't increase them at all, and very happy with the quality of video we get and the results.
Any other questions or discussion? With that, entertain, we have a motion in front of us by trustee Wagner and support by trustee Fields. We'll do a roll call, please, Christian?
Trustee Fields.
Yes.
Trustee Olson.
Yes.
President Pro Tem Keller.
Yes.
Trustee Reister.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
President Frisbee.
Yes. The motion carries. 11C.
Yes, Mr. President. Under C, the village manager is looking for approval to sign contract with Truck and Trailer Specialties to complete repairs to our 2009 village plow truck that was purchased from the city of Kalamazoo in the fall of '23. The repairs or replacements will be a new dump body, lighting, backup alarm system, stainless steel rear pillars, new salt release half-Y chute, and sandblast the front hitch and bumper. The contract's not to exceed $28,500.
We have a request in front of us to approve the $28,500 not to exceed to Truck and Trailer Specialties.
The one item I'd add, President Frisbee, is that money is coming out of the saved up assignment money for that
The
maintenance.
CIP money,
as part-
that was your question?
President Frisbee, so moved.
Trustee Wagner, support.
Is there any further discussion on this? I know we had these discussions when we first bought the dump truck, but, all right, we'll do a roll call, please. Christian?
Trustee Reister.
Yes.
Trustee Fields.
Yes. Yes.
Trustee Wagner,
Yes.
Trustee Olson,
Yes.
President Pro Tem Keller,
Yes.
President Frisbee.
Yes. Motion carries and moves us to 11D.
11D is the reapproving of industrial text amendments. Says here the village council is requesting to approve, I think the village manager is requesting to reapprove the proposed text amendments from the January 29th, 2024 council meeting. There's also a summary in that packet that you have for that as well.
Trustee Wagner, so moved.
Trustee Fields, support.
So we have a motion and support. You have any further discussion on this? I know that was something that we discussed, but we never had a full resolution approved by this council, but this came in front of us at our last meeting, so there was no changes to that, correct? There was same language and everything. It's any further discussion or
Yeah,
inquiry?
I just wanted to say, thanks to the team for catching that procedural oversight and not getting that posted in the correct amount of time. So I'm glad that that was caught, and we're gonna make sure that's taken care of. So I'm glad that that oversight and that process is in place for those updates.
Yeah, and if I can add, so the council is aware, we put in a mechanism with McKenna. This is a new relationship, so every 2 weeks, we'll have a touch-in, make contact meeting on any outstanding items we have with them, including the Thursday before every planning commission, just to review the punch ticket list. So our attorney has prepared what needs to be published, and Village Clerk Wines will be taking care to ensure that that publishing occurs after the vote tonight.
So motion was made by trustee Wagner, support by trustee Fields. You'll do a roll call, please, Christian?
Trustee Olson,
Yes.
Trustee Wagner,
Yes.
Trustee Fields,
Yes.
Trustee Reister,
Yes.
President Pro Tem Keller,
Yes.
President Frisbee.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you all. So it moves us to 11E.
11E is the resolution 0304-2024-01 to waive a conflict of interest regarding negotiations of sewer contract with South County Sewer and Water Authority. Our respective attorneys, Catherine Kaufman and Rob Thal, are partners within the same law firm. This involves the agreement in place for Sprinkle Road and negotiations for an agreement once the new force main is in place.
So we have a request in front of us to, everyone had an opportunity to review the statement of the waiver.
President Frisbee, so moved.
Trustee Wagner, support.
Is there any further discussion? I know we talked about this in the past, but, well, just at our last meeting but we never had it in writing and it got an official resolution, and that this is what we're doing. So we have a motion by trustee Keller, support by trustee Wagner. We'll do a roll call, please, Christian.
Trustee Reister,
Yes.
Trustee Fields,
Yes.
Trustee Olson,
Yes.
Trustee Wagner,
Yes.
President Pro Tem Keller,
Yes.
President Frisbee.
Yes. Motion carries. And that leads us into our next 11F. Yeah. Okay. So 11F was a request of consent and franchise from Brady Charter Township. So we are really been working diligently with Jim and myself, with the leadership in Brady Township, now Brady Charter Township, to have a more open and a better relationship in how we go about governmental business. And these are just steps to get to that next stage in the village. So what I like to do is have this resolution approved. The village plans to extend its sewer lines along Sprinkle Road in Brady Charter Township. The village needs to formally request a consent and franchise from Brady Charter Township to use the public road right-of-way in their township. I'm asking the council to authorize me to formally request this permission in writing from the township. If appropriate, I'm looking for a motion to authorize me as village president to write and author the letter to Brady Charter Township requesting this consent and franchise for the Sprinkle Road in their township. And that's what I'm asking for tonight.
Point of order, President Frisbee, are you asking for a resolution, or is that what?
I'm asking for a resolution of approval to enter into for me to author the letter to Brady Charter Township.
Okay, so the resolution number would be 03042024-02. I make a motion to approve
Yes.
that.
Trustee Wagner, I support.
Motion made by President Pro Tem Keller, support by Trustee Wagner. We'll do a roll call, please. Any further discussion or questions you have of
Yeah,
the intent?
quick point of discussion, and this may or may not be known. Maybe Manager Mallory would. Is this, Tim, resultant from the recent change in status to Charter Township from Brady? Or is this, would we have had to do this regardless of that?
We would have needed to do it regardless of their status as a governmental business. So, you know, there's other ways to approach it, but we're just trying to approach it from a friendly, intergovernmental, you know, and ask for the permission. We have a shared line in the ground now, that the existing line. We could go forward and just say, we've got it in already, you know, but we want to do it formally and officially, and, you know, just to develop that relationship with our surrounding governmental units, so. Anything further? If not, I ask, did we make motion to support? We did, we were discussing. We do a roll call, please.
Trustee
Kristen?
Fields,
Yes.
Trustee Olson,
Yes.
Trustee Reister,
Yes.
Trustee Wagner,
Yes.
President Pro Tem Keller,
Yes.
President Frisbee.
Yes. Thank you for that. So we'll move into village manager report.
So, under 12A, I was going to give you all an update on 513 East Prairie. As you know, or recall, I was here in front of the council back in October of 2023, where a resolution was passed regarding that structure and the demolition process. On 10/26, it was necessary to personally serve Mr. Knowles the paperwork in regards to that, the resolution. I had to serve both him and his wife. I was not able to contact his wife at that time. Continued to work to try to arrange a meet with her in order to get her that paperwork. On 11/1, I received notification that there was some work being performed at that structure. I was told that no permits were pulled. That time, I contacted Chris Hamilton from SCMCCI, had her place a 24-hour stop work. She ended up ultimately red tagging the property so that no work could be done based on the fact that no permits had been pulled. At that point, I spoke to Attorney Graham, who had been initially working on this project with me, and we had talked about the process moving forward and maybe some citations for that owner, and any permits were going to be administratively denied for that location. Again, on 11/6 of 23, I tried to serve Carol Knowles, but again was told she was out of town and unreachable. At that point, all the paperwork was taken to a few locations, Mr. Knowles' residence, the 513 East Prairie location, and sent first class to him and his wife. And I was told that at that point, there's a 21-day waiting period to move forward. I was also told that you would need a final inspection on the residence to do anything after that 21-day period. Again, that took some time to get. On 1/2/24, I was notified that the inspection was completed again by SCMCCI. That was Justin Munn along with Chris Hamilton. At that point, shortly thereafter, myself and Village Manager Mallory received an email from Mr. Knowles stating that the items that were pointed out in this inspection had been repaired, that it would be not beneficial to have this place the structure be a tear down, and he wanted to permit to complete some other repairs. I spoke then again with Ms. Hamilton, who stated that none of the repairs listed in the inspection had been completed, that it, in fact, once again had failed inspection. So then I continued. I wanted to talk with Mr. Graham a little bit further. That didn't go quite, I suppose I'd say, quite as fast as I would have liked. So at that point, on 1/10/24, I made contact with Attorney Kaufman's office, where I had brief contacts with Attorney Roxanne Sieber. She was going to talk with the inspector's office, Chris Hamilton, and Justin Munn. They're, again, going to talk about some citations to try to get this into court. After some time had passed again, on 2/27/24, I spoke again with Attorney Sieber, who advised that Knowles was in fact cited for failure to demo from what I've been dealing with for the past several months, year. And at that point, a compliance order has been drafted. The compliance order is currently with the 8th District Court. They're waiting on a court date to review that compliance order. As long as the compliance order is signed by the judge, you'll have 30 days to draw a permit and demo the property. I'm sure there's a way to, if he goes into court, to try to, I guess the right word I'm looking for, defend it and try to keep the house there, but my understanding is within that 30-day period, it has to come down. And that is where I'm currently at with it today. It's been a long, as all of you are aware, I've said in the past, a long, painstaking process of trying to get people to meet with me, get the things done that we need to get done in order to move forward with it. It's, but I think it's finally going to come to a conclusion here very soon. I'm hoping. So that's where I'm at with it currently.
Thank you. Any questions of Scott or village manager on that? We appreciate your
Yeah,
persistence.
appreciate your effort on that.
So you're to the village clerk, or is Jim, are you gonna give that presentation, or was Scott gonna talk to the village clerk? Christian? Wait, we're on a roll here.
So we wanted to update you on what we did for the 2023 calendar year, which was really just end of July, beginning of August for the Homework Made Grant Program. We did work on 8 homes totaling over $103,000, just over $103,000.
Who's that?
And we didn't really promote it. We wanted it to be
Oh, that's good.
Mailers to who they knew were below the poverty line, but were caught up on their taxes and were they had to be the primary homeowner. And of those 8 homes, there were 5 roof repairs, 2 furnace repairs, 2 water heaters, which we did in December in that cold spell within a week and a half of them contacting us. A couple garage doors repairs, and 1 home needed new windows pretty bad, and we got those in as well. And in 2024, with spring and the construction season going to start coming up again, South County, Drew Johnson, he wants to put a article in the newspaper about the work that has gone on, and then we'll highlight it more on our social media and our website to try and get the rest of the money spent.
So I talked earlier about it, and I think I might have stole the thunder from Jim on the village trustee applications. So you guys are up to speed on that, and the Citizens Academy. We have 4 applications to the Citizens Academy. We'd like to have a goal of 12, so we'd really encourage that you speak with anybody, any of your friends, and anybody you run into at the coffee shop or whatever that ask you questions about government. Just say, hey, well, if you want to find out, we have a perfect opportunity for you to take part in it. So I think it's a great opportunity. I'll be there every night, so I'll be taking part of it. But had I not been, prior to coming on this board, what a great point of entry, to get into government. So,
Tim, you might want to talk about when it starts so that people would have an idea of.
yeah, April 17th, and it's a 6 weeks. We meet 6 meetings for 6 weeks, 1 a week. Ends May, what did I say earlier, May something. But yeah, we encourage you to either stop into your new village hall or get online, because it is posted online, as well as a council trustee application. So, and I'll let Jim, or were you going to speak to the budget update?
Yeah, I just wanted to give an update to the council that next week I'll be at the meeting in person, God willing, and we'll really start on some additional items in the 24-25 fiscal year. One of those at the start, I think, is at the heart of the majority of you. And though the 2 prominent companies still do not do community-wide pickups for spring cleaning, fall cleaning type situations, we have reached out and solicited a quote that we are going to present from a private company to bring that service back to the citizens in the 24-25 fiscal year. And we'll get into more details on March 18th. We'll also, if I'm waiting to ensure that the road commission, the roads we're looking at, local streets, is to finish up the Trillium neighborhood that still needs to be completed, and the original section of the Centennial neighborhood on the local streets. Then we're getting quotes for Kalamazoo, Maine, and Michigan to have that same application put down. And we'll go into details of the reason and our thought process why. As well as looking at, we've all seen solar-powered like speed warning devices as you come into the village, so we solicited quotes on that. But we'll again go into more details on March 18th, but certainly wanted the council and the public to know it's going to begin the budget season in earnest. Council members and different governmental entities, and we'll move outside to stakeholders, will be receiving surveys for input on prioritization and where desires are to invest in the village. So we'd ask everyone, if you receive those surveys, to certainly complete them. There'll be a pretty detailed survey going out April 1st to all utility customers, and we look forward to receiving those results and passing them along to the council. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Jim. Anyone, while you still got a voice left, anybody want to talk with him?
Just real quick, Jim, I love seeing the community-wide curbside pickup for fall. That will be very exciting. Is that going to then do away with the spring drop-off, or do you think that would still be something that would happen this year at least?
No, I think we're going to try to do the drop-off as well, because the timing and scheduling, if the council does approve what we present, would occur within 2 weeks after Labor Day in the month of September.
Yep. Any other questions? Well, thank you, Jim. Thanks so much. We'll move on to committee reports. Tree, did you have any update? Yes, you do.
Yes, I would like to give an update. We met, Katie and I and Tim met and decided on, Katie was going to put together a budget for what we need, and then within a couple, 3 weeks, we'll get together with Manager Mallory and discuss what we see as the need for the coming. We would very much like to get at least 25 trees planted between now and the fall, so we are definitely working on it, so.
Parks and Rec, you met, right?
We did. Parks and Rec met. We did lose a member at the beginning of the year. She stepped down, so we're a couple short. And Christian, I don't know if that was passed along to you to put on the village page. We discussed not only having a one additional full-time member, but reaching out to the high school to look at student kind of a temporary part-time position, at maybe those students that are National Honor Society that need some volunteer hours that are interested in that kind of a thing, to bring them on and have them just be there for part of the year and kind of dip their toe into public service a little bit and event planning and that kind of stuff. So Jim was going to reach out to the school to see who was best to talk to there, and thought 1 to 2 members there. We went through, Jim had asked us to kind of put our top 3 wishes for every park. We were reminded again that we're the advocates for these parks, no matter how big of an idea we had, to put it out there and see where it could go. We also are discussing doing a possible 5K on the trail to kick off the birthday festivities that morning. So looking into, I reached out to the person that does the Hardy Hustle to see if we could connect and what would be involved with that. And that was it.
Thank you so much. And Katz.
Yes, I filled in for President Frisbee last week for the CATS meeting, and the more things change, the more they stay the same. Our friend Paul Sullivan was there from Bike Friendly Kalamazoo, reminding everybody that that's going to be, Bike Week is going to be starting, so we were given a invitation if we wanted to participate in Bike Week. So I've given that to President Frisbee. He and Manager Mallory can look it over. They have a new chair. His name, I think, is Isaac Green. They said it very quickly. So, and then new president, I believe his name is Tom May. So they've got a couple changes. I think Paul Sullivan is chair emeritus, I guess, for lack of a better term. So, was told that also Paul mentioned in his second time to speak was that they're looking to possibly contact communities to do murals. So obviously it would be bike related, but so that's an opportunity. Maybe if we're thinking about doing some murals somewhere, maybe we can inquire with them on that. Was informed that Act 51 complaints now are going to go directly to the MDOT. And it used to be, I guess they went locally, now they're going to go to MDOT, which Act 51 money is what we get for roads. So that's going to be adopted next month. The big thing they talked about was microtransit, which we have Metro, and then we have the other transit. Micro is going to be more regionally oriented, and it's more of within that geographical area. So if they had like a southern micro transit, it would only connect people within the south. And they said it's going to be designed to work more like an Uber, where if you needed a ride, you'd call them up and they'd come get you and then drop you off. So it wouldn't be a bus per se. It would be more like a very small vehicle. So that's a pilot program they're going to be rolling out. They have a subcontractor that they're working with that's done some in other municipalities, and it's worked really well. So that's their big thing that they're going to be working on. So there you are.
Thank you so much. So Planning Commission, and do you have notes on that? You have notes on Well, we can catch up last. I put you in a precarious
You
position.
did, I apologize for that.
Had to get you sworn in and everything for a temporary role, but
Yes, I don't have anything to report on that because I didn't think to take notes.
no,
So
and, well, shame
we'll-
on me, I didn't
We have
take
another
many
meeting,
notes
there's
either.
another meeting Monday, a week from tonight, and I'll be more diligent.
Okay, thank you. And so it takes us to the South County Sewer Authority, which is one of the reasons why we're trying to work with Brady Township, just to establish a good working relationship with them. They presented their 24-25 budget, and that was, motion was carried, and one of their closing comments, they thanked Jim and myself for, they held their last meeting here last week in this facility right here, so they were very, very appreciative of that. They did announce that they're going to do and draft up a letter to all their service, that they have a 10% increase across the board for their sewer authority going forward in April. So that notice will be going out to all their, what's the term I wanted, not residents, users, thank you. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. We're working with them to, also, about the opportunity, they authorized some money with, probably Newhoff, or Whiteman, I believe, Whiteman, their water service company, to do some analytical work to see what it would take for them to enter into the forced main that we're putting in on Sprinkle Road, which ultimately will save them some money because there's some big costs coming down the road for that interceptor, the Davis Creek interceptor, which when we leave, that'll be left in place. We're going in a different direction and bypass that altogether, so we'll avoid those maintenance costs. So they're slowly coming on board with that thought process about maybe it's the right thing to do for their users to engage in this system too, because it's just a much better system. It's a federal system. There's a lot of benefits to run into it. So I'll leave it at that. South County Fire. That was a good meeting. They one of the two main topics from the fire authority, one of them is EMS, the emergency medical services, right? So we lost our provider. I believe it was Life. They pulled out of the county. The county is struggling as a whole. There is a effort afoot by the city of Kalamazoo, KVET I think is the acronym for it, to source for all Kalamazoo County emergency medical services. So one of the things we talked about, and I highly encouraged it, and it'll be on their next meeting, is a resolution to join with the request for quotes. And Kalamazoo's got the professionals, and they're doing all the heavy lifting. They're drafting the policy. All this is they're trying to get all the communities that would be affected to get on board and say, yes, we want to be part of this. This effort to try to bring medical services to our region, and they're very, very sharp people. I had a long conversation with, I should have wrote his name down earlier. Jim helped me, Dr. Fails. It never fails me. My mind never fails. So Dr. Fails, and he and I talked for probably 45 minutes about the benefits to the community by doing it. And we'll see it. We'll see I think some of the people were concerned in South County that, oh, the response time, this and that and everything. But if we say no, we're on our own, right? So let's get on board. Let's see what they have to say, see what they're offering. They'll be held accountable to certain response times that they edict in their quote. So that was my recommendation to the board, just to, let's get it back on and get that motion to get in to join that RFP coming out of Kalamazoo.
I have a question I'm wondering who's servicing us now then in this area?
Life is servicing us. It's an unsigned agreement, let's just say, when it was Pride Care that went out of business.
Yes,
About April or May of last year.
yes.
Life assumed the contract. The problem is the contract that they proposed to us had, well, there's two types of life. There's basic and then
More
the emergency and then just
Critical,
basic transportation. They were not willing to offer that. So it's been in limbo for the last 9 months. But life is the one that serves the whole area, and KVET or KIVET, whatever the acronym is, we get on board with that. We'll be part of that large group. It's a confederation, basically, of municipalities and townships, so.
Okay. Thank you.
And the second thing of note is that I shared with them our findings on the roof of the fire station that we own here in the village, and shared with them the cost and gave them ideas how we can share costs, how we can go look for grant money. That was quickly pushed back, and they're going to meet with their facilities group is going to meet, and they're going to start strategizing what the long-term plan for that fire department is. First and foremost, they have to figure out what the 5-year plan is. And so they're going to meet with that, and more to come on at the next meeting. And you'll be able to report back on that. So any other questions or discussion on that? So that was it for action or committee reports, right? Yep. Oh. All right. Well, I lost it in my pile of papers. Citizens' time. This would be their citizens' time for comments and non-agenda items. Seeing a smiling face out there, we see none. Village trustees' time. I'll start with Trustee Fields.
I have nothing tonight, thank you.
Trustee Wagner.
Nothing this evening, thank you.
Trustee Reister.
Nothing this evening.
My goodness, if we had a clock in here, we'd only know how fast this is going. Trustee Olson.
Yeah, I'm about ready to throw an anchor into this one. Got a long list. Lots been happening. Construction on US 131 from U Avenue to the Village of Schoolcraft is supposed to start this week. You mentioned too, the sewer construction on South Westnedge, from the top of Westnedge Hill to White's Road, is going to start on the southbound lane, and that's going to be tied up until November. So I wouldn't plan on going to Kalamazoo much. Friday I went to Richland. Matt Hall was in there, and I wanted to talk to Matt about a couple of things. Sunday on To The Point on WOOD TV, a local state rep was on there. There's a proposal up in Lansing right now, and you guys are not going to like this one. Sprinkler systems in homes, all brand new homes. They're proposing sprinkler systems. Safety-wise, yes. It would put a major strain on all infrastructure. Separate lines would have to be run for that water. And it would add a cost of $20,000 per house, which for our new plat out here, if that was included within that, we'd be looking at over $2.4 million just for that plat. So we have to keep an eye on that up in Lansing. Also, they're talking garbage in more ways than one. Disposal rates right now are 36 cents per yard. There's a proposal coming up that's going to go to $5 a yard. The only thing that's going to be, what they're worried about is everybody's going to go get a burning barrel, and they're going to start burning their trash. And when they burn their trash, they're going to burn the plastic, and they're going to burn wood and whatever else they have to. So that's something else we're going to have to keep an eye on. For you people who travel the area, like I do a lot, 23rd Street and TU Avenue roundabout's been set back till 2025. But trees are being marked right now at U Avenue and 23rd Street. Kalamazoo County Road Commission was in there this last week surveying and marking trees. So they're going to go ahead with this project, at least that's the plan, unless the courts decide differently. And there is action in the courts right now by one of the property owners at TU Avenue and 23rd Street. And they plan on taking out about 50 feet of his yard. And that's not including the guy across the street who's got the nice trees and the nice trailer and everything else. And they plan on moving his driveway, 150 feet to the south. So, all of this is, one way or another, is gonna affect all of us. It's either gonna affect our pocketbooks or it's gonna affect our travel times and that. So, I guess I just brought you all up to date. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, you're just a barrel of laughs there.
Hey, I can buy burning barrels for $5 a piece and sell them for 25. Hey, you know, I can make money on this deal, but
It's interesting, that's all I hear about, that's all I read. I attended the State of the State address, and the number one topic that I've heard for the last year is affordable housing.
yeah.
Affordable housing, affordable housing. How is it gonna be any more affordable when you throw that kind of impact into building a new home? But,
Yeah.
all right, so President Pro Tem Keller.
Well, I could tell you more increases on new homes being built, but I won't go into that, so, electrically. But anyways, I did want to thank you for filling in for me last week in the fire authority. I was proving that somebody that hadn't skied in 19 years probably shouldn't have skied, so I was on a ski trip. But I'm walking, so that's a positive thing. So, other than that, just looking forward to the really good weather, and hopefully we'll have a parking lot next meeting we have, so, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. I failed to South County Fire Authority. We have some new board members. Kathy Mastenberg from Village of Schoolcraft, and Jennifer, I didn't get her last name, but she's sits on a trustee for Schoolcraft Township. She replaced Mr. Catlin, who was resigned from it. So we got a couple new members on that. Yeah. Just real quick, you know, I'm really so proud of what this community has done. You know, thank Jim, you know, because it was your idea, taking that ARPA funds, and I've had the opportunity to sign all 8 of those checks for those families in need that have owned their house, they're current on their taxes, they've owned their homes for, 2 years or more, and they just needed help. And what an honor it is to help people like that. Second to that, we hosted, and Carl spent several hours with Sean McCann, our state senator, came and toured our new home here, and Carl was so kind to come and spend a lot of time with him. And we also hosted our U.S. Congressman Tim Walberg for a town hall meeting here in our new facility. So there's a lot of people out there, whether it's county, state, or, U.S. government, that is recognizing what you all have done here. So, with that, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you all for being here tonight.